Good evening, everybody. I'm Steve Shamraz. Welcome to the Now Milwaukee, where our plan is to get you caught up on everything you might have missed over the course of this day, including some new regulations from the FDA on the electronic cigarette industry. A Milwaukee shop says it is bad for business, but our Casey Geraldo looked into this today. You found out that not everybody is excited with this ban on e-cigarettes.
That's true, Steve. The Tobacco Free Alliance in Milwaukee tells me they're happy these regulations will go into place since the e-cigarette business has been entirely unregulated since it started. But people in the industry say the new rules are overreaching.
Definitely bad.
A simple assessment e-cigarette sales rep Nicholas Wolf feels strongly about. He says new FDA regulations won't just impact the e-cigarette business, they could crush it.
99% of the products that are currently out of the market would be gone in 2 years.
Products like these, e-cigarette liquids, some shops make themselves. By the end of this year, the FDA will require an application for approval, which is where Wolf says the regulation goes too far.
One flavor could cost upwards of several $1 million.
But the Tobacco Free Alliance says those regulations don't go far enough for a product with many unknowns. They write, quote, flavorings typically have propylene glycol and glycerin in them, preservatives that are FDA approved for ingestion, but we simply don't know the effects of inhalation. Even though e-cigarettes don't have tobacco, Tobacco Free Alliance Executive Director Deb Hefner worries they could be the next generation of tobacco. But using an e-cigarette, Christopher Graham is down to 5 cigarettes a day instead of 25.
It's done its job.
Which is why Wolf is upset at the new regulation on this relatively new industry.
We like helping people find a better alternative to smoking.
A purpose the Tobacco Free Alliance isn't convinced of. The CDC reports use for middle and high school students tripled from 2013 to 2014, but starting in August, people under 18 will not be able to buy e-cigarettes, and people making e-cigarette liquid have until the end of the year to register and send in their list of products.
I get this because they're just swapping out one nicotine and chemical delivering system for your lungs for another one. One's electronic, one you physically light on fire. And that's where the feds need to get involved. Casey Geraldo, thanks for looking into this today. A growing concern with e-cigarettes is the liquid nicotine that's inside them. That stuff is now poisoning more children than ever. According to the new information today from the journal Pediatrics, more than 14% of calls to the National Poison Data System are because of exposure to e-cigarettes. There were more than 200 calls in April of 2015. One child even died from ingesting it. An increasing number of students at UW-Madison demanding administrators make changes following a series of racially charged incidents on the campus. They include photos of swastikas posted on a dorm room door and graffiti using some other Nazi symbols. Administrators have agreed to some student demands, including adding hours for student support and conducting cultural competency training. Activists say that alone will not be enough. The DNR warning people to be careful with outdoor grilling and campfires. The danger of wildfires in Wisconsin remains high. 17 wildfires broke out across the state just last Friday. Some counties have been using controlled burns to prevent future fires. Amazing video we have been watching all afternoon coming into the newsroom. This is a tornado that touched down on the ground in Oklahoma City. South of Oklahoma City. This tornado just spotted in a rural area. It is one of several that hit that state today. Our station in the area, KFOR, confirms one person was killed in those earlier tornadoes. They're still going on right now. There's a chopper shot we can take a live look at right now. We cannot take that chopper shot live? Okay. It's surveying the damage. Jesse Ritka's here now. We can talk a little bit about this. You can actually see in the chopper shot that apparently we're looking at there, but we can't call up that scour line
you can
in the
tell
earth, the indentation from the storm.
Tornado scarring, basically. You can really see where the winds have picked up debris and kind of created a scar along the earth. Yes, there are 3 still active tornado warnings down in Oklahoma right now. All of them are south of Oklahoma City. You can see they're under still a tornado watch until 9 p.m. And we have had several reports of funnel clouds. In fact, 30 reports of funnel clouds, tornadoes, as well as very large hail starting to see some of those damaged pictures come spilling in from Oklahoma at the minute. This storm system is a giant one. We are on the cold side of it. Notice that warm front just down to our south. That's going to bring in some overriding rain showers on top of that warm front. We are not going to benefit from the warm front. Notice the temps in the mid-50s across the area. As we go throughout the rest of the evening, we're going to start to watch those rain chances really ramp up, especially overnight tonight and into tomorrow. But again, colder rain. We're going to be geeking out though about tornadoes and kind of how Oklahoma, they should be expecting this time of the year.
We complain about the rain, but our state kind of needs it right now.
It certainly does.
Jesse, thank you. A Chicago technology firm opening up a new office in West Dallas. JS Online says this is Shift Gigs' first office in our area. The company will let people use their cell phones to pick up some temporary work. Businesses post their needs on an app. People then check their phones for available jobs. Milwaukee's East Side getting a brand new apartment building. It's a 24-story high-rise that will grow at the corner of Prospect and Ogden. It will be geared toward empty nesters with an outdoor pool deck, a fire pit, yoga studio, golf simulator, and a pet spa as some of the amenities. They'll also have 24-hour security and maintenance staff. Groundbreaking scheduled for the spring of next year. For the first time, Yelp releasing a list of the top 20 places to eat in Milwaukee. Those rankings based on reviews and star ratings. Number 1 on the list, Blue's Egg, a popular spot. Number 2 on the high end of the list, Sanford. Morel's in number 3, Bavette number 4, Odd Duck at number 5. Some others include Swing and Door Exchange, Cafe Corazon, and Simple Cafe. For the complete list, head to tmj4.com. A program in Green Bay helping students with disabilities prepare for their futures. The Green Bay Area Public School District partners up with students and businesses around the community for on-the-job experience. This is the first year that Titletown Brewing Company took part in this program.
We're finding some good kids out there, and it's fun to have them part of it, part of our team, and going forward and just working with the schools and identifying people that need some help.
And this transition service begins when the students are 14 years old. It continues until they turn 21. Sometimes students are offered full-time jobs after they complete the program. Coming up, a showdown over transgender rights, the battle brewing over North Carolina's controversial law. Plus, the hot place to go in Wisconsin if you are looking to get married, the county that makes the list of best places for weddings in the world. The debate over transgender rights headed to court, and the outcome will likely impact the entire country. North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory now suing the federal government. That's in response to demands from the Justice Department to abandon a controversial new law. It would require transgender people to use the public bathroom that matches the gender on their birth certificate.
This is not just a North Carolina issue. This is now a national issue, and an issue which imposes a new law on every private sector employer.
Opponents say the governor's move is meant to prevent the potential loss of billions of dollars in federal funding. That lawsuit will likely take years to sort out. With North Carolina defending its restroom law, we're looking at how much support similar issues have across the country right now. A new poll from CNN and ORC International finds nearly 60% of people say they oppose laws that require a transgender person to use facilities that do not match their gender identity. Milwaukee Boys and Girls Clubs extending their summer service schedule to keep unsupervised kids off the streets. 24 locations will remain open in August. This is the second year for their extended schedule. Last year, more than 71,000 free meals were served at Milwaukee Boys and Girls Clubs in the month of August. Still ahead, wedding season creeping up on us. The Wisconsin county now getting some international recognition for its destination ceremonies. Plus, a rough start to the state's fishing opener, what kept a lot of people off the water and some of them packing. You are watching the Now Milwaukee. Don't you pack it up. We've got 24 minutes to go. Welcome back to the Now Milwaukee. May marks the beginning of wedding season, and Door County getting international recognition for its destination weddings. The wedding website, The Knot, named Door County one of its top 50 wedding destinations in the world. That's up there with places like Rome and Hawaii.
tourism is on the increase up here, and along with that comes more awareness for our destination and more awareness for brides and grooms that may be looking to do a destination wedding.
Be even more crowded than usual this summer now. Door County event planners say most clients are from out of town or out of state. One wedding planner in Door County says she's helping with more than 50 weddings this summer, has 20 planned for next year. 20 planned a year out. You can enjoy a drink with your friends while raising money for the Mitchell Park Domes. Blue Lounge at the Pfister hosting a battle of the bartenders this Thursday, 5:30 to 7:30. The Domes get 10% of the bar revenue and 100% of the tips. The dorms, you might recall, were forced to close earlier this year because of crumbling concrete. Right now, only the show dome has been repaired and is back open. Well, a windy start to Wisconsin's fishing season. Not so good for businesses over the weekend. People from all over the state headed up north with money to burn at restaurants and the fishing shops, but the wind made it just too choppy for folks to head out on the water. Chased a lot of the anglers home.
At 5 o'clock this morning, there was not a boat out here. And last year, you would have a hard time finding a place to launch a boat.
The DNR estimating more than 1 million anglers in the state bring in nearly $2.5 billion of economic impact, and they drown a lot of worms. Let us geek out now with John Milan and Jesse Ritka.
I just learned something. You could drown a worm.
Me too.
That's what I called fishing, because I didn't really catch anything. I just drowned the worms.
All right, well, I guess we should get serious on this Geek Out session because there were a lot of big tornadoes in Oklahoma today, and they do get a lot of tornadoes this time of the year, don't they?
Yeah, and especially being in Tornado Alley. This actually came from a 1952 study. It was called Tornado Alley. But yeah, take a look at some of this video. Impressive stuff down there.
Yeah, and they're talking about EF4 tornadoes, wind speeds well over 200 miles per hour. A lot of areas hit by these tornadoes. There was actually more than one. This was the biggest one that started around Elmore City.
And that one actually, it looked like it spawned a second one off of the southern flank of that system too.
And this was a huge supercell storm that turned into a line and developed more with outflow boundaries, storms that were developing more tornadoes.
And yeah, there's still 3 active tornado warnings down there. But like we were saying, they're a part of Tornado Alley, and that was a 1952 study that kind of outlined which states have the most tornadoes.
Now this picture is not pointing at me, but it is kind of pointing at me. This is where the greatest frequency of tornadoes is, right kind of centered where the storms were going on today in Oklahoma City. And I think we should point out that this month for the whole nation is the greatest frequency of tornadoes.
Yeah, I mean, typically across the U.S. you get about 1,200 tornadoes per year, but May is the peak month, of course, for the entire nation.
And about 22% of all those 1,253 tornadoes occur in this month around the rest of the country.
So just looking at the May stats, 43 tornadoes on average happen in the month of May in Texas, 28 in Oklahoma, 38 in Kansas. Of course, the further you get away from that center, you're going to see.
Yeah, we only average about 3 tornadoes during the month of May. Jesse, what's our peak season?
Our peak season isn't until, check this out, June.
And that's basically because Lake Michigan is so cold. We don't follow, the Great Lakes states don't follow that same normal due to the cold Lake Michigan.
But yeah, on a typical 30-year average per year, we get about 23 tornadoes across the entire state. But
yeah, most of those do come in the warm months of summer, although we've had tornadoes in southeast Wisconsin and the rest of the state every month except
February.
I am a recovering Kansan.
Yes, Kansan.
And I mean, I chased on a couple days like this today, and I just remember it, with one supercell after another spawning tornadoes, the meteorologists just do not get a break.
And
it's nonstop.
Jesse and I watched this all afternoon, and you could see they were in western and central Oklahoma. They were seeing forever. Once they got into the eastern part of the state, it's hilly, there's woods, and they got a hard time spotting.
All right, thanks, guys. Coming up next, perfect profile pics, the growing business to make you look good, to make that first impression online. Plus, only happens a few times every century. The special site you might have missed if you didn't know about it. You're watching the Now Milwaukee. You know this, you only get one chance to make a good first impression when it comes to your online profiles. Your picture is everything. The need for the perfect shot sparking a new market for photographers. People say their old profile pictures just don't cut it anymore.
There was a lot of really bad pictures and thought, you know, this is something that I could maybe do.
And this isn't just for the swipe right crowd out there like Tinder and Match. They're also using Pierce's work for professional sites like LinkedIn, even Facebook, where good profile pictures increase interview chances by 40%. That's according to a recent study. Well, a rare sight today, Mercury passed in front of the sun for the first time in a decade, or between Earth and the sun. A little black dot in this video from NASA. Mercury's trip across the sun started just after 6 this morning. Took about 7.5 hours. That only happens about 13 times a century. The next time will be 2019. Coming up, signing yearbooks with a paw print, how man's best friend ended up with his own picture in the student lineup. Meet Presley and Seth Ware. They might be next to each other in the middle school yearbook, but they are not brother and sister. Presley is a service dog. Seth has muscular dystrophy, needs help throughout the day. The yearbook advisor says Presley, just like any other student, just a little furrier. Good dog.
Think you got a B? B's for bark.
You get the last word on the cold wetness to come.
Oh, we're going to get rain later on this evening, and then we're going to be stuck in the 50s throughout the day tomorrow. So hopefully enjoy the sun in the 70s this weekend.
That's it for now. We'll see you later.